Chris Beesley and the rest of the team will be with you today from 9 a.m. to ensure constant coverage of all things LFC, including news, great photos, nostalgia, live interviews and much, much more. The Echo will also provide you with the very latest transfer news as it happens throughout the week, with every rumor and story digested and analyzed each day with updates from full-time LFC reporter, both home and away, James Pearce and more. There will be all the latest team news before games, plus every one of Jurgen Klopp's press conferences covered live and with video. We want you to get involved too. Tell us your thoughts on what's happening at Anfield by tweeting at @LiveHelf or at @CBeasley_Show. Join the debate. 1622 Bundesliga clubs are trying to lure Liverpool wonderkid Ryan Brewster away from Anfield, but James Pearce warns that he should think twice about leaving. He writes, "The attraction for Mönchengladbach is clear. Brewster, who won the Golden Boot at last October's Under-17 World Cup, is one of the most exciting young players in English football. His reluctance to sign a professional contract with Liverpool has alerted a host of European clubs. However, Brewster and his representatives would be wise to consider what he would be giving up if he ends his 3-year association with the Reds. For a start, unlike his England teammate Sancho at Man City, there is a clear pathway through to the first team for Brewster at Liverpool. He doesn't need to go to Germany to find one. Jurgen Klopp isn't one of those managers who stockpiles senior players and just pays lip service to youth development. He's passionate about helping youngsters fulfill their potential and is willing to put his faith in them." Click here for the full article. Ryan Brewster of Liverpool U19 during the UEFA Champions League Group E match between Sevilla FC U19. Image, Andrew Powell, Liverpool FC via Getty Images, 1536, Liverpool's Young Wales. International enjoyed a fruitful spell on loan with the Yorkshire club. 1520 Liverpool winger Mohamed Salah says it's too soon to compare him to the likes of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Salah told Egyptian TV channel Ani, "I don't want to say I am happy with these kind of comparisons, each of them has been at the top level for 10 or 11 years. Their performance level is stable. I need to maintain my performance levels high for many seasons. I hope I can do that. They are great players and hopefully I become happy with these comparisons." Click here for the full interview. Lionel Messi, Mohamed Salah and Cristiano Ronaldo. 1424 Satisfying everyone was always going to be an impossible task, and frustrated Liverpool fans have been reacting to the club's ticket ballot for the Champions League final on social media, with many expressing their disappointment. Comments included, "An absolute joke, UEFA the root cause," and "Why weren't season ticket holders given priority?" Click here for the full story. Liverpool supporters show their dejection. Image, Julian Finney, Getty Images, 1341 Joe Rimmer examines the number crunching behind the cost of Naby Keita's transfer to Liverpool that depends on where RB Leipzig finish in the Bundesliga table. He writes, "Liverpool will pay £48 million for Keita should Leipzig finish 7th or below. The fee will be £52.75 million should Leipzig qualify for the Europa League, and £59 million if they reach the Champions League. All three still remain possibilities for Leipzig, who have it all to play for in the final match of the Bundesliga season today." Leipzig sit in 6th position in the table, which remains really tight going into the final round of fixtures. They are 2 points behind 4th-placed Hoffenheim and are also just 3 points ahead of Borussia Mönchengladbach in 9th position. Ralf Hasenhüttl's men need a victory from their trip to Hertha Berlin, as well as hoping for Bayer Leverkusen to lose at home to Hanover and Dortmund to beat Hoffenheim away from home, if they are to gain entry into the Champions League. A victory would guarantee them a Europa League place. However, should Leipzig drop points and Eintracht Frankfurt win at Schalke, then they could tumble out of the European places entirely. Click here for the full article. Naby Keita reacts during the UEFA Champions League Group G match between RB Leipzig and FC Porto at Red Bull Arena. Image, photo by Martin Rose, Bongarts, Getty Images. 1308 Key event. Liverpool are still hoping to convince striker Ryan Brewster to spurn interest from the Bundesliga and commit his future to the club this summer, writes James Pearce. Borussia Mönchengladbach and RB Leipzig have both registered their interest in the 18-year-old frontman, who won the Golden Boot at last year's Under-17 World Cup. The Echo understands that Liverpool have triggered the third year of Brewster's academy scholarship, which means that no club is currently allowed to approach him. Anyone doing so at this stage will run the risk of being reported for tapping up the youngster. But Brewster could still opt to leave in the summer, and Anfield officials understand the lure of the Bundesliga for an English player of his age. Click here for the full article. Ryan Brewster celebrates scoring during the Liverpool v Tottenham Hotspur Premier League 2 game at Anfield on September 22, 2017 in Liverpool, England. Image, Nick Taylor, Liverpool FC via Getty Images. 12 to 4,117 years ago, Michael Owen's smash and grab against Arsenal in Cardiff. Steven Gerrard celebrates with teammates in the FA Cup final in 2001. 12-13 Mohamed Salah is still 4 goals shy of Ian Rush's all-time Liverpool goal-scoring record for a single season, but with 2 games to go remains bullish over his chances. He says, "Anything can happen. I think so. I prefer to play on the right wing, but sometimes I play as a number 10, sometimes I play number 9 and striker. The last goal I scored on the left side. It doesn't matter, it's just about finding a space to score. I'm not the same player now as at Chelsea, not at all. I've improved a lot, to be honest. I improved a lot at Roma. You can see the finishing, the speed, the power, the threat, but I cannot say everything is on me, because my teammates have made a difference, the coaches, the staff, they make my game easier and they always try to help me on the field and off it." Click here for the full interview. Liverpool's Mohamed Salah celebrates scoring his side's second goal of the game during the Premier League match at the Hawthorns, West Bromwich. 11:46 Depending on how Naby Keita's RB Leipzig get on tomorrow, Liverpool could pay anything between €60 million to €75 million for his services. 11:29 Former Liverpool midfielder Jay Spearing is taking the mickey here. 11:03 KUI event. James Pearce discusses Mohamed Salah's declaration of love for Liverpool, and why he can buck worrying trend of Luis Suarez and Philippe Coutinho. He writes, "Too often in the modern era a player has lit up Anfield, taken the leap into the world-class bracket, kissed the badge and then jumped ship. Klopp intends to break that cycle. He believes that Salah will buck the trend and dedicate the best years of his career to the Reds." Liverpool and Salah has proved to be a match made in heaven. Now it's down to Klopp and the owners to demonstrate sufficient ambition over the coming years to ensure that he has no need to cast any admiring glances elsewhere. Click here for the full article. Salah and Suarez. 10:53 The Echo's LFC columnist and former Red striker John Aldridge is thinking of his other Merseyside footballing love today. He's not so nervous that he couldn't wolf down this brekkie though. 10:43 Liverpool will be turning out in their 2018-19 home kit against Brighton. However, they won't be sporting it in Kiev for the Champions League against Real Madrid. Click here for the full story. Jordan Henderson models Liverpool's new 2018-19 home kit. 10:08 Ryan Brewster is regarded as one of Liverpool's brightest prospects, but the Reds starlet is attracting attention from a couple of Bundesliga clubs according to the Daily Mail. Dominic King writes, Ryan Brewster, whom Klopp has described as an inspiration for the way he has confronted racism issues, is the subject of interest from Borussia Mönchengladbach and RB Leipzig. Brewster, one of the hottest young talents in Europe, has not signed his first senior contract at Anfield. The 18-year-old is highly regarded by Jurgen Klopp and trains regularly with the first team. He adds, Liverpool will be keen to tie Brewster down to a long-term contract at the club, but the youngster may feel he needs to move elsewhere for regular first-team action. Ryan Brewster of Liverpool in action during the Liverpool v PSV Eindhoven Premier League International Cup game at Prenton Park on December 19, 2017 in Birkenhead, England. Photo by Nick Taylor, Liverpool FC via Getty Images, 9:52. With the advancement of science and technology and humans supposedly learning from their mistakes of the past, the future should be a brighter place, so why are depictions of tomorrow's world always so dystopian? The reason I'm pondering such deep thoughts this early on a Saturday morning concerns Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp and his message to the Reds players that a glorious end to this season will ensure they're still famous in the year 2518. He declares, I cannot think at the moment about the Champions League final. I have to think about this game and winning this game and making sure we play Champions League next year, and then we have 2 weeks to prepare for the other game. To be remembered in 500 years, then we have to win the other game for sure. Klopp has form for using over-the-top numbers for dramatic effect, but 500 years, that's a long time, especially given that modern football has only existed for around 150 years. We might not like it, but will football in its current guise even exist by then? Perhaps it will be played by some specially bred super athletes or even robots. What we do know is that it matters a lot now to Reds fans, so if you want more of Jurgen's pearls of wisdom, click here at Jurgen Klopp during a training session at Melwood. Image, John Powell, Liverpool FC via Getty Images, 9:29. Mohamed Salah might have a 3-goal cushion over Harry Kane going into the final Premier League game of the campaign when it comes to the Golden Boot, 31-28, but he's still looking over his shoulder. After all, the Tottenham man is coming up against a Leicester City side who he bagged 4 against in the penultimate game of last season. Therefore, if the Reds are fortunate to win a spot kick against Brighton, it's likely to be their Egyptian king stepping up. Jurgen Klopp said, Mo and Millie are both doing it pretty much constantly in training. It is their decision, but Mo is a pretty good shooter. He missed one, I think, but apart from that he is a really good penalty taker. So, yes, probably Mo. Click here for the full story. Mohamed Salah and Dejan Lovren during a training session at Melwood. Image, Andrew Powell, Liverpool FC via Getty Images, 9:08. Chris Beesley. Hello everyone and welcome to the final weekend of the Premier League season. We are just one day away from Liverpool knowing their Champions League destiny for another season, unless of course they lose to Brighton but beat Real Madrid in the final. Let's not think along those lines though. The Reds are the only team with an unbeaten home record this term out of the entire 92 Premier League and Football League clubs, and surely they're capable of getting at least that solitary point they need at Fortress Anfield. Stick with us throughout the day as we continue the build-up to what Jurgen Klopp has dubbed the biggest game of the season, and he's not talking about Kiev yet.